Why do turnkey rental properties have a bad name? They don't have a bad name to everybody, but some people say, ooh, no, heard too many bad things about that. So what are those things and why that reputation? Two things in my mind. Number one, people have come up with this misperception that you have to overpay for a turnkey rental property. I'm pretty sure that came from the word premium being used. You do pay a premium, quote unquote, for a turnkey rental property, but premium in that context means that you're paying market value versus under market value, which is what most real estate investments are based on. So that premium is that difference between under market value and market value. Somewhere in there, people have taken the word premium to mean that you're going to pay over market value, which means you're going to overpay for the property, and that's the premium. Not accurate, not cool, and if any turnkey provider tries to make you do that, not cool. You shouldn't be paying more than market value for turnkey rental properties. That's the most common negative perception about turnkeys today, I think, in 2020. What happened years ago, turnkeys really became popular. They've been around forever, but they really became popular with the 2008 crash. That's when, these turnkey providers were flocking into these markets and buying all these distressed properties and rehabbing. The price to rent ratios were to die for. Like, it was a big thing. What happened during that time, because it was such a feeding frenzy, anybody could open up a turnkey company. Like, anyone and their moms could be a turnkey provider, which created some problems because who were you buying through? And one of the dynamics in particular that happened because of this is international investors all wanted to buy in the US when this happened, because you could not get returns anywhere else almost in the world like you could here in the US in 2009, 10, 11, 12, give or take. Well, what was happening is these turnkey providers, fortunately, most of these people who were doing this are not currently still in business, but they were advertising these turnkey rental properties to international investors, knowing good and well the international investor was never going to show up to actually see the property. The international investor would buy the property, and then the property was terrible. It either wasn't rehabbed completely, or it wasn't rehabbed at all, or the tenants were bad, or is in a bad neighborhood. Because people were moving so fast and hard in those days, because feeding frenzy is an understatement, people weren't taking the time to verify what they were getting. So the key to this, and why I share this, number one, to try to clean up the reputation of turnkey rental properties and tell you why they potentially have kind of some people question them, we'll put it that way. But in terms of what happened in 2008 to 11 or 12 or whatever with the international investors, is the big complaint that came out of that is like, oh my God, turnkeys are such a scam, because you buy this property and you never see it, so you don't know what you're getting, and they're selling you this, crap house. And here's the thing, for all turnkey rental property investors to understand, it is up to you to do the due diligence on the property. There is very little about a property that you can't verify. And when you go under contract for a property, it's up to you to verify that you're getting a property as advertised. And this even carries forward outside of the international investors. There were a couple companies who are still under lawsuits because they sold properties that weren't anything like what was advertised. Well, I don't like that those companies did that by any stretch, and I think they should be punished for it. But at the same time, those investors who bought those properties never thought to check up on anything. You have to do due diligence. The biggest mistake I see with turnkey rental properties is taking this hands-off idea way too far and not thinking that you have to verify anything, or working with a company who says, no, we do the due diligence for you. Bad practice. If you're in real estate investing, you should eat, sleep, and breathe due diligence, because that is your job as an investor. That does not go away with turnkeys being hands-off. It's up to you to verify you're getting it. Property inspection, running comps, checking out the neighborhood, whether virtual means or whatever, but that's on you. So again, those are why sometimes people get a little sketchy about turnkeys, but the biggest reason being, when people think it's a scam, there is such an easy way to make sure that you're not getting scammed. And for the record, after, we're not in a feeding frenzy anymore, those companies all fell out. Like, there's not many companies left that would do that, or, but you don't know who the good companies are, so you've got to do due diligence. And when you do that, and you verify everything about the property, turnkey rental properties can be fantastic when you're getting what you're supposed to be getting.